All right. Audio should be good. I'm going to turn it up a little bit for our YouTubers so they can hear. Ooh, that's a little loud. All right, YouTube, let me know if that sounds good. Bobby, is that good? Daddy Slick Beard.
Slick beard.
The
I do
beard
like
is
the
coming
beard.
in. Yeah, it's coming in pretty good here. Let's have you scoot in just a little bit so you're in frame just a little bit. There you go.
I gotta move my coffee over there.
Yeah, we'll make sure we can see you. So, all right. Uh-oh. Danny's going to fix something.
Hey, Danny.
Oh, that's probably going to... Here we go. And now I bet you can hear us.
It was just camera audio. You gotta switch it.
It was just the camera audio. Sounds... Anthony says, sounds Gucci. Gucci, 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 Gucci. All right, now we're good. Thank you. Danny saves the day again. All right, we're going to wait till a few more people get in. What we're doing, guys, is we have Paige Pierce in the house. She's stopping by to say hello, get a few things taken care of with, I heard you were stamping up some apparel.
Yep.
Getting that done. Stopping by and say hi. And we're going to do a little in-store signing session later on this afternoon. What time are we doing that? I forgot.
1 to 3, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. 1 to 3. Yeah. So after this, we're going to grab lunch and then go over there. And, turn it. Too quiet still. Hold on. The volume must have went down when I hit it. All right, see if that's a little bit better.
Check.
It'll sound good for the podcast, the audio people, but for the YouTube people, they're awful picky. I'm just kidding. You guys aren't picky. For some reason, the YouTube volume is usually lower.
Wonder why.
Still pretty quiet? We should be coming across pretty loud. Let's see if that helps. We're cranking it up all the way 9.
Have it almost maxed out.
Huh?
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at now, so it should be good. I'm at 9.
I'll just turn it up then.
Turn it up. All right. Volume quiet but good. Better. There you go. All right, we're sounding better. Sounds good now. Thank you, guys. YouTube is always good to let us know.
Yeah, good feedback.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's good. Anyway.
Well.
So back to Paige Pierce. She's here saying hello. We're going to do some in-store signing stuff. If you want to right now get your order in, you have until, what do we give everybody? Till 2 p.m. Central today. If you haven't already, get your order in, and Paige Pierce will be happy to autograph it for you, and we'll get that shipped out. Of course, we would love if you picked up a special deputy that she has out, and, of course, the convict that she has out. But anything you want to order and have her sign it, she'll be happy to sign it for you.
Free quick shipping, perfect for Christmas.
Yes, free shipping, gift for yourself, or maybe a gift for someone. So, and surprise that someone special in your life with a Paige Pierce signature. Do we have any of those in stock, or is that just through you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, can they order it?
Yeah.
They have to go to your Facebook page, right? Or
yeah, just message me on any social media.
Well, show everybody what it is. You got the cool little hoodie on with the Paige Pierce,
Yeah, and they got a little, oopsie.
What?
Little DD.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah. So if you want to support Paige and have some cool looking gear, and it feels soft. Yeah.
I got long sleeves too. I like the long sleeves.
You like the long sleeves better?
But it's cold, so I
okay.
wear a hoodie today.
So anyway, if you want to pick up some of that, order that through Paige Pierce on her Facebook page, and Facebook page, and she'll get that out to you. So what we're going to do is, I know Paige we're going to record a episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. And we're gonna.
It looks like a taser, kind of.
It does.
And it's called a Tascam.
It's called
taser cam. Just kidding.
A Tase Cam. Yeah, it's the Tascam DR40. I've had this thing ever since the beginning of Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and it's a really good field recorder.
Nice.
So, all right. I should probably make DD pay for one, because this is the one I paid for.
How many cords do you think you own?
Well, I don't know, but in fact, I have to buy 2 more because one of them broke. Anthony broke it. Well, Anthony didn't break it. He reported it was broken. So, so anyway. Oh, and by the way, so Paige was here yesterday, and she was checking out her new Ronin S gimbal. So you guys need to be looking for. You guys are enjoying those disc golf tourist videos. If you want to subscribe to Alyssa Van Lannen, her YouTube channel, you can check those videos out if you haven't. But apparently we're going to see some videos come from you too, Paige, huh?
Yeah, next year I got a project I'm working on, but...
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. Should we?
Yeah, we can talk about it a little bit. Well, we'll talk about it on the podcast, though, when we start recording,
okay,
so that we can talk about it.
So.
All right. So Robert says, oh, dang, this is cool. Where you at, Robert? Robert is, what he usually does when he's not on the show.
I think he's in my van right now.
Oh, I figured he was looking up recipes for cream cream cheese pies.
What?
I was at his. I had lunch or dinner at his house. Him and Shay invited me over, and we had fajitas. They're very good.
Ooh.
If Robert ever invites you over for fajitas, make sure they're the HEB ones, and they are very good. But I told him that I would make my mom's cream cheese pie. In fact, maybe I'll make it this weekend.
Nice.
Too bad you're going to be leaving, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going to miss out. It's so good.
Did they bring any tortillas back?
No.
I know they just went to Texas.
I know.
Last time they brought back a big old thing of queso.
I didn't know that. And then he'd tell me? Thanks, Robert.
Whoops. Sorry, Robert.
So, hey, Paige, have you played the 9-hole at UTD? We'll answer a few of these YouTube ones before we record the episode.
In Denton? Yeah, I played that actually a while ago. I don't know if it was a 9-hole or if it's the same one you're talking about, but I played there with EMAC probably 5 years ago or something.
Oh, wow.
It was really windy and cold. Yeah, I think it was 9 holes.
Joseph, no, I don't mean cream cheese cake. This is a cream cheese pie. And it's actually called a cream cheese delight, I believe. And the reason it's different is you don't bake it like you do usually cheesecake. It's more of it's not a meringue. It's not a mousse, but it's kind of in between a cake and a meringue type.
Okay.
Are we getting
me
hungry?
hungry. You're making me hungry already.
But it is so good. And when I was married, my wife wanted at the time the recipe, and it took my mom the longest time to give her the recipe. I mean, that was the thing.
Yeah.
That and my mom's arroz con pollo, she would not give her the recipe. So anyway, so that's like way off on a tangent. We need to get back to disc golf, and because people like for us to talk disc golf. Page volume is low. I know she's.
I see something just because it's in caps. It says "Go Cowboys."
Oh yeah.
Ask, who is this?
It's Joe Brannon.
Yeah.
Gotta love them boys, huh?
Uh-huh.
Do you have any putting tips for practice routines?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's kind of similar to what everybody is going to tell you. Grab the same putters and grab a lot of them. I usually go out with a stack and just practice the repetition. I've been putting straddle putt for quite a while now, and I would recommend trying it. You don't have to switch it to your go-to, but I think it's really, really, really helped me just finding balance and stability on the green. And that way, too, you're not changing up when you get to these elevated putts or these tree putts. So it's just the same motion every time. So I would say to, whatever your stroke is and your stance, just to practice the repetition so that you kind of get more and more and more familiar with it. But as far as what was it about routine?
Yeah, practice routine.
Just
putting routine.
Honestly, just practice like you're putting in the tournament, and that way it feels more natural, and it also you feel less pressure when you come to the tournament.
Nick wants to know about are you playing any of the Disc Golf Pro Tour tester events?
I only heard of one. I didn't know that there was multiple, so I guess I'm out of the loop. But I heard that 303 Open was one. I'm not sure yet. I haven't set my schedule quite yet, but I've signed up for a few events, of course, Glassblown, and then the two that are at the beginning of the year, the Memorial and Gentlemen's Club. Oh, and Waco. So I know those 4 for sure I'm already signed up and paid for, but I'm not positive on the rest quite yet.
I think that's it for YouTube. We'll go on to now I know you posted something on your Instagram, I think you did.
Yeah, I just told him that we were going.
Did you get any questions on there?
Yeah, I got I don't know, few.
All right, we'll take a look. What
Few.
is it? Instagram.com/ just
Paige Pierce 29190.
29190. And that one?
Yep.
All right, we'll have that up to ready to go. I'll get the Google Forms ready to go just in case we need some questions off of there. Nope, wrong thing.
Look
here.
at the organization.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
We are
play-by-play commentate on what you're doing.
Bringing up the questions here on Google Forms. 94 questions.
Okay, we're gonna be here for a while.
Yeah. All right, so we've got the field recorder ready to go. We got recording on pause. We'll go ahead and do a recording of the Disc Golf Answer Man show. Thank you guys on YouTube for hanging out with us while we do that. And you get to take part in the answers and questions and answers. Here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answerman. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and you're probably thinking, what? I already heard a podcast episode this week. What is going on? Well, we have a special guest in the house, Miss 4-time world champion Paige Pierce. Stopped by to get some stuff done, talk to Robert, talk to Jeremy, chill with some of the DD folks here. We're doing an in-store signing. That will have already been over by the time I get this done because it's happening pretty much right after this. But we had a special in-store signing. We're going to do some live stuff and some live Q&A, so you might want to check that out on YouTube. But yeah, we have Paige Pierce here. How are you doing, Paige?
I'm doing great, and I love your energy.
You love it?
Yeah.
You got to turn it on. You got to get the juice going.
You also need to check it out on YouTube so you can see this excitement.
Yes, remember, you never know. You got to subscribe to us on youtube.com/Dynamic Discs. Turn that bell on. Click that bell so that you're notified every time we go live. You can take part in the fun that we have. So what is going on? You're kind of making a swing through some places before you head out on the Croatia trip. We'll talk about that in a minute. But, you know, what's going on? You're just trying to just talk to the people before you head out?
Yeah, it's been nonstop. I think this year, absolutely, there was no off season. It was like a week and a half about. But yeah, I went back to Dallas where my family lives and spent about a week and a half there. And then my mom moved to St. Louis, so I went to go check out her new house and kind of say hi and stuff. So I spent a few days there as well. And I stopped into Smokin' Aces Disc Golf and just kind of wanted to kind of get acquainted with the disc golf scene there. And then I headed here yesterday and gonna do some stuff with you and the in-store signing and of course look at some discs. But mostly just to visit my best friend. She lives here and she is 8 months pregnant, so wanted to see her before she pops. And she's huge. It looks fake.
Really?
I've known her for
I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, I've known her for 12 years, and like I've seen her through probably 40 different hair stages, braces, all kinds of different fashion trends, but never seen her like with a basketball belly. It's funny.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so spending a couple days here, and then I'll be going to Kansas City on Sunday. There's like a Kansas City Divas holiday brunch. I actually got to go there last year too, so that's cool. And gonna go stop at the DD Kansas City shop as well. Nice. And then I fly out of the Kansas City airport Monday morning. So nice.
Wow, you've been really busy.
Yeah.
Now, for a lot of people that are on YouTube and watch your videos and check your things out, the latest project you had with Alyssa is the Disc Golf Tourist. Is that something that you're going to do more and more with her? Or was that kind of just a launch with her type thing? Or
yeah, no, definitely it's going to be a long running.
Oh, nice.
Series? Series. Yeah, that's the word. I'm new to all this.
You're fine.
Like a long-term series, just kind of like documenting travels and like the places disc golf takes you, essentially. Like, Emporia, I think, is a good example of that. It's like kind of somewhere that typically a human wouldn't vacation to.
Right.
But when disc golf's involved, of course, that's like the number one location to go. And like, I don't know, I think ever since I started playing when I was like 4 with my dad, I've always been a tourist through disc golf, even if it's only like an hour down the road or, a 3-hour road trip to Austin on the weekend. Like, we're all traveling because of disc golf.
Right.
And like how involved Emporia's community and their chamber of commerce and all that is, like we have the power to make that happen in so many other cities. Right. So we just got to like bring awareness that disc golf is the reason that we're going to all these places.
Yeah. And a lot of times, you go to an event, you're there for the event, you see the hotel, the course, and then you're back home.
Yeah.
You don't really check things out. You don't realize that the town you're in has things for you to do. Little gyms and stuff like that. So I think it's a cool idea to take that. And of course, now I know the touring people that go back to the same city 4 or 5 times, they start getting used to the city and they talk to the locals and find out, you need to go this spot, you need to check this out. So I think that's really cool that you guys are going to explore that. So yeah, definitely if you're into watching that type of stuff, go out to youtube.com and Alyssa Van, I think it's just called Alyssa Van Land.
Alyssa Van Land and Images.
Images, okay.
Yeah.
And then you can follow that page or follow that YouTube channel and check that out. But you're getting ready to go to, well, let's do a few disc golf questions.
Okay.
And then we'll we'll come back to Croatia. Is that
Perfect.
cool?
Yeah,
Because I know
perfect.
that's a big thing going on. So you had posted something on your Instagram page, which should be P Pierce 29190. So follow her if you want to check out all the stuff that she does for disc golf. And you said something about you were going to be on the show and you wanted to get some questions from people. So we're going to ask a few of those to see what you can say to us. Oh, look at someone has almost close to your number, not quite. Okay, so this person says, after a bad, unlucky, or just unfortunate shot, how do you mentally react? Do you think of what you may have done wrong, or do you just focus on your next shot?
This is hard to answer definitively because it's different for everybody. But for me personally, it's dependent on the situation at hand. Of course, all of us are trying to not react and just stay even keel and throw the next shot. But it's harder to do that than just saying it. But so for me, I kind of just try to walk away and remove myself and take a couple deep breaths and really just like regain my composure and think about like the long term, that one shot is only, if you're shooting par golf, it's 1 out of your 54 shots. So, it's really not that important. So try to make it a little less important in your head because it really doesn't make or break your round. So just try to get away from it. And for me, I found that that's just walking away, calming myself down, and kind of mentally prepping for the next shot.
So yeah, I mean, I have filmed you over the last few years, and I've captured a lot of those moments where you're kind of walking away. Is there any? Do you maybe you don't want to share what is going through your head though specifically? Is it like Are you the kind of person that you're you beat yourself up, or are you trying to lift yourself up?
Definitely lift.
Okay.
I do, and Peter McBride, he's on Team DD. If you guys don't know him, try to make it happen. He's like the wisest 21-year-old. 22. He just turned 22. But he taught me that you don't want to just forget the bad shots. You still want to remember them, but use them for a learning experience. So like if I messed whatever shot up, right, I'll just think about it like as what can I do better about that shot if it's relevant to the rest of the round. If not, I'll wait till the round's over to like process that. But if it's a putt that I like let go of on too much of a hyzer or something, I'll think about that. Okay, I need to get my next putt a little flatter. It came out, hyzered. But for the most part, I'm just thinking about the next 1, 2, 5, 10 shots, and kind of like getting back on track instead of like getting off track with dissecting that shot. Usually I just wait to dissect that till after the round.
So that's interesting. I just had that thought is like, so after the round, so let's say, or even a couple days after the round, do you ever go out and purposely practice saying, okay, I remember the shot I messed up on. Do you purposely practice that shot again? Or is it more just dealing with the fundamentals so that you are ready for the next time?
Kind of both. Like I definitely, if I throw a shot correctly, I definitely go out and throw it again. Like 10, 15, 20 times just to build up that repetition. I think that helps tremendously, but also, in the shots that you mess up, just tweaking a little bit, because disc golf is crazy, especially with the angles. It's so it's like this much of a difference can severely alter the shot. So just kind of going out there and working with every single different angle to figure out which one works and how much power you can put on that given disc with that angle. After the round's over, I'll work on it, not necessarily on that given hole,
right,
but just like kind of recall what happened at that tournament and replay it like on the field.
And another thing that I noticed big with you on shots that you don't go quite as planned, that I've incorporated now. Obviously, I'm not no pro, but I want to improve. I want to become better. But on a missed putt, I noticed that you will literally line yourself back up, and as if you're practicing that putt again. Is that just kind of assessing in your mind where I went wrong? Did I let go wrong? Did I
Yeah, most of the time for me, I putt with a deputy, team deputy. It
Hashtag team
is, you know, I'm not here to like preach DD. Of course, I'm in love with it and my bag is perfect. But whatever manufacturer you use a straight putter. And for me, the straightest putter I've ever found is the deputy. And that way it reveals how you missed and why you missed. It does, or why you made it. It just goes so straight that when I miss, I know why I missed. And so for me, I'm not necessarily trying to like change anything.
Right.
I'm just trying to get my stroke back to where it should be.
Okay.
Because I try to talk about all the time, like taking away variables so that every time I walk up to a putt, it's the same motion. So chances are if I miss that putt, I messed up my motion.
Right.
And so I'm just trying to feel that correct motion so that on the next one I have that repetition.
Gotcha. Awesome. All right, let's move on and see what someone else has to say. It's if you could only play disc golf in one state for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
Oh yeah, I read that one. I was thinking about it. It would have to be somewhere with a lot of variety because you wouldn't want to just play the same type of golf the whole time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would think probably either California or Oregon. California is huge and there's so many different types of terrains and I've played so many different types of courses there, but Oregon I think would have to take the top spot just because it also has all the different terrains, but it has trees, a lot more trees. And I love the tunnel shots. I love shaping shots through fairways, and so I think Oregon would have to.
Looks
be
like
the
Brandon would want to join you because he voted Oregon as well on
Nice.
YouTube. So shout out to Brandon for Oregon. Let's see. What mid-range do you throw?
Well, I throw 3. I currently bag 3. I guess the Suspect is considered a mid-range, right? It's like a putt and approach, I think. But the Suspect's probably my most thrown one, I would say.
Yes. I love the Suspect.
It's just, I throw the Marshall for my putter, and it's just a little bit longer than a Marshall, but it holds a little bit more power. It's very straight, and then hyzers out at the end, but just at the end of the flight. It's relatively straight flying disc.
Really?
Yeah, for me.
I've never thrown the Marshall, yeah.
Well, the Marshall you haven't?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting. Yeah, but so I love the Suspect. And then I throw the EMAC Truth. I throw it in the Peter McBride one, that's Moonshine with the sparkles. It's very consistent. Some of the Truths have kind of been like flippy out of the box. I'm not sure why. But I found that those are super, super reliable and just have that little fade at the end. And then I'm throwing the Verdict. I've been throwing it for a while in just Lucid. But I've been working on implementing the Lucid X Verdict, the Paige Pierce one. And actually, Robert just gave me a sweet one yesterday. That's got a hand-eye stamp. I might work with that. But yeah, those are my 3. The Suspect for shorter, the Truth for straight to slightly flippy, and then the Verdict for straight to overstable.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I mean the Marshall. I know people talk about. I've known you throwing. I mean, I've thrown it for the videos that we did, but I've never like really got out to a course and really checked it out. And I've wanted to, but it sounds like I need to because I like the Suspect as well.
It's amazing. I really love it.
Troy also had another question. How long did it take you to really learn to incorporate hips into your throw?
Oh, it's hard for me to answer that because I've been playing my whole life and I don't necessarily really remember like this moment that I was like, oh, I need to use my hips. But I think it's just kind of like, I don't know, it kind of comes along with just using your whole body when you talk about needing to follow through because it finishes the motion. The hips start the motion. So if your hips aren't involved, you're essentially using just your upper body, or just your upper body, and your timing's all off. So if you want to use your entire body as one giant muscle, you have to have the timing of your hips lined up with your reach back and pull through.
Gotcha. Has Danny ever done one of his little form breakdowns with your form?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that video's out there. So maybe if you want to, you can check Danny's channel. Did you do it on Danny's channel or on your channel or?
No, it's on D.
On DD? Okay, so on the Dynamic Discs YouTube channel, maybe people can learn a little
Yeah.
bit more about your form and the hips and things like that?
Mistake in that video is when I said she was doing something wrong.
Oh, so Danny said Paige was doing something wrong? All right, little controversy there. Controversy. All right, let's grab a few questions from YouTube real quick. Let's see. What are steps you take to be more consistent?
Release point.
Yeah.
I think that's the most dramatic thing that you can do to get more consistent. And honestly, that's just repetition and getting it down. But also learning each disc on which release point. Like I said, just a little variation of angle can severely affect the disc flight. So just like when I do field work, I don't know if you guys follow Kona Panis on YouTube, but she just put out a fieldwork video, and it's very similar to what I'll do. I'll go out with one day and just bring out my mid ranges, or one day and just bring out my putters and just my fairways, and work with each disc on 40% hyzer. Now each disc with 50% hyzer. Now each disc and different powers as well. That way you're learning the release point, so that when the fairway gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and the pressure gets tighter during tournaments, you know what to expect, and you're taking away the guessing game. So yeah, that's
when you're doing that. So let's say it's mid-range day and you're doing all that. How much time are you out there? Like, are we talking like an hour, 2 hours?
I try not to set a time limit. I don't
Okay.
want it to feel like work, and that it's like this like pressure
Right.
and any of that. It's I'm doing what I love to do, and I want it to stay that way. So I don't want to feel like any sort of like like pressure. So I don't really set a time. I just kind of go until I feel that I accomplished my goal for that day. So you can, depending on like how invested you are and dedicated, like you can set a small goal or a big goal for that practice session. But once you hit it, then you can just call it a day, kind of.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so we talked about Croatia. If people follow you or Alyssa on Facebook or YouTube, we know that there's this trip going out to Croatia. Kind of tell us a little bit about how this idea came about and what's going on.
Yeah, so I went to the Thailand Open, which, side point, you guys are doing some, like, you're giving away a free trip to the Thailand Open next year?
Yes.
That's amazing.
I hope I want to go to that.
That tournament is so sweet.
Is it really?
Amazing.
I gotta
amazing.
talk to Jeremy.
Anyway,
Let me go.
backtracking. Anyway, last January I went to that tournament, and I met this lady named Maya there. She was playing in my division, and she lives in Croatia. She talked to me quite a bit about it, and she messaged me recently, or not recently, I guess, but a couple months ago when we started planning this trip. She had an idea that she is going to host this trip where it's 3 days or 8 days. There's two different options where you can essentially come road trip with me and her and everybody through Croatia. She's a travel agent, and she also does the club in Croatia. So she's very involved and very planned out. She has like the entire itinerary, like hour by hour, but there's also like free time and stuff too. But yeah, so on the 8-day option, we'll be going to 5 different cities throughout Croatia, and there will be 2 clinics and 2 PDJ events, and then also we'll be having like a New Year's Eve party through the new year, and going to like some of the national parks and stuff.
Wow.
And basically we're all hopping in a van together and road tripping all across the country. And so it's kind of, the disc golf cruise that Nate and Val do and stuff. It's kind of like that, but in a van. And I think that's really cool and unique, because that's how we travel year round, is in a van. Cool. So it's kind of like they get to experience tour life for 8 days or 3 days, whatever you want. So yeah, I think it's really cool, and I'm super excited about it. And yeah, we'll be leaving. It's December 29th through January 5th, and Maya's still accepting
Oh, people could still sign up if they
Yeah,
want to?
I think
or?
there's 6 spots left.
Okay. Where do they
and
go to find out just in case if they...
So you can go to, can we like put a link or something right now?
I can't, well, I think we can put it in YouTube, but when I do because I'll release this on audio today, later this afternoon, so I can put a link in the description of the podcast.
Yeah, I think she said she's accepting requests until the 12th, which I know that's only 5 days from now, but still, like, I went to skyscanner.com. Have you heard of this?
No.
And you just type in Croatia, and it'll tell you where the cheapest flight to Croatia is from.
Yeah.
And then you can just buy a one-way over there from like Southwest for $60 or whatever. But so yeah, I actually got my ticket for like $400 total.
Wow.
Amazing. And yeah, the trip includes like your lodging, the travel, all that. So it's all inclusive, and yeah, it's worth it. But
what's it, remember the website to get information? Oh my gosh.
Well, it's like a Croatian, like, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, I can give you a link.
All right, you look for the link.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, we'll move on. Okay, so let's get back to some of the questions from Instagram.
Deal.
Good Lord, this is a big one.
Whoa, all that is one question?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, all that and then some. So we'll maybe come back to that. Let's do. What's the best plastic for throwing putters? Do I need Lucid, or will something like a classic blend be durable enough to avoid getting chunks gouged out?
Okay, so for durability?
Yeah.
Well, definitely Lucid. Definitely Lucid as far as durability. It's hard to say what the best one is because I throw them all. Like in the Deputy, I throw every plastic besides Biofusion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it depends what you want it for. If you do want it to break in and have a slight fade to the right, you're going to want classic or some variation of classic depending on how stiff you like it. Or yeah, if you want a little bit of stability, I throw the Lucid Deputy. It's very straight and very durable, very durable. I've hit plenty of trees with it and it still flies very true to its flight. So if that's what you're looking for, I would say Lucid.
I think I narrowed down his question to the basic question. He's trying to find a putter that is close to an AVR. He feels like the Warden would be close. Would you agree, or?
I have never used an AVR.
Okay.
So I can't personally answer that for you. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know. Robert, what do you think?
Robert should be on YouTube.
He knows all about the Warden.
You throw the AVR ever, Danny?
Pure is a similar shape.
Pure is a similar shape, but shallower.
Other than that, a Warden's probably close.
A Warden be good. All right, there you go. There's the answer for whatever his name is on Instagram. Backpack Paul 53 says, best coffee shop you've ever been to on the road?
Anywhere? Anywhere on the road. Okay. Wow. I think New Cafe. It's not necessarily a coffee shop, but that kind of adds to it because they have a bunch of food. It's in like just outside of, it's right by the course at Maple Hill.
Oh,
so that probably adds to it too. It's right by my favorite course. But it's called New Cafe. They got really good coffee and smoothies and quinoa bowls and salads and soups and basically everything.
Someone says no DD putter is as deep as the AVR. Wait until the guard comes out because that's going to be that's going to be a deep, putter.
Okay, what is going on?
She can't find it. Okay, we'll get one more question. See, do you feel no, your snap of the disc is amazing. Will you maybe talk about that?
Thank you. Honestly, snap just comes from like how, gripping it tight and not necessarily opening your hand, but just letting it come out naturally. And when the force that you put into the disc is strong, it's going to make an audible snap. So yeah, I think just make sure you grip the disc tight and don't open your hand on your release. Just let it come out naturally.
All right, let's see. Johnny is commenting on our mic stands.
What about him? Johnny
yes,
V?
Johnny Bigfoot. Yes, they haven't invented thinner mic stands yet.
I think they're amazing. This is one of my favorite part of Disc Golf Answer Man.
Yes, they've invented them. You want to pay for the thinner ones for us? Send the money, Johnny. All right, next question.
Disc golfing through Croatia. Found it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. Okay. Here we are.
Is there a simple, a nice?
I can give you the actual.
Yeah. I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
And you can just send it to me, and I'll put it in the show notes. And
send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me on
copy
message. And maybe we'll try to include it here on YouTube. I don't know if you can put it in the YouTube chat. All right, question. Do you feel the pressure of expectations from being a multiple-time world champion and just kind of running the women's field the past few years? Or are you past those nerves/pressure?
Any pressure that anybody refers to for me is just personal. I feel like my family absolutely has no pressure for me, and the sponsors and partners that I've aligned with definitely don't have don't put any pressure on me for sure. So it would just be on myself and what goals I set for myself. And I do feel pressure sometimes, but that's because I have my sights set high, and I sometimes make goals that are not super obtainable, like being 1,000 rated. I keep going down. That's a real bummer.
That's not the right way to go.
I know. But anyway, I think I do feel pressure at times for sure, but it's all pressure that I put on myself. So you can kind of remove that anytime you want. Just lower your goals. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't work well under pressure, then absolutely don't put that on yourself. But some people thrive from pressure and use it as motivation. So I think you just kind of have to know what type of person you are and where you excel.
There you go. All right, we're going to jump into some of the Disc Golf Answer Man questions that were sent in. This one's from Mark. He says, what factors play into determining if a hole is better suited for a sidearm or a turnover backhand play? I've been playing for about 1 year. I started as a mainly sidearm thrower, and several months ago I decided I would only throw backhand to develop that part of my game. My backhand has become my most comfortable play now, and as I bring the sidearm back into my game, I sometimes have trouble deciding when to use it. So how do you decide when you're going to use a sidearm or a backhand?
A lot of people think that, if you're a right-handed player and the hole finishes to the right, they just assume it's a sidearm. But typically that is the case. But I would suggest looking for the ground. What does the terrain look like on the ground? If it's like tilted one way, it's not going to be good for anhyzers because you're going to have a cut roll, and as the sidearm would skip, or vice versa if it's facing the other way. So look at the ground, look at if there's like roots or rocks or anything like that. Also think if it's continuously fading to the right, or if you want it to fade right and then a little bit more left, the anhyzer's not going to work there. You could do like more of the sidearm and just kind of pitch it to that gap. Also, a lot of times too, you could just stick with what you feel more confident in and go for the longer putt. I think that's something that people overlook quite a bit too. You don't have to throw sidearm just because it breaks to the right.
Someone follow up on your reaching 1,000 rating. Someone says, what do you think's holding you back?
Consistency. For sure.
Other than consistency. That's what he says at the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it says funny. Other than consistency.
Well, I mean, that's all that ratings are about. It's your
right.
365 days worth of how well you played. Right. And I absolutely am capable of 1,000 rated rounds. I've proven that. But to do so on a consistent basis is, of course, what that comes down to. But just to appease the last part of your question, other than consistency, mistakes. I think almost every round I play, I'm on the verge of 1,000 rated, and then 1, 2, 3 mistakes happen, and then quickly it's under 1,000 rated, and so just minimizing my mistakes, and I think that's gonna come with time, but just kind of choosing to be more aggressive at times. I think I'm playing to my field a lot of times and just pitching out of the woods. And for the men, you never see them pitch out. You always see them try to progress up the fairway. So I think, I might lose a few more tournaments, but that I could get higher round ratings if I try more aggressive shots, like from out of woods or even off the tee on par fours and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's just you kind of have to you kind of have to know what your goal is when you go into the round, because if your goal is winning a tournament, that could be par golf.
Right.
But if your goal is to shoot the best rating possible, you're going to have to try to go for eagles and birdies.
I gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot more to it, folks. And I've heard Eric say it, and I don't know I think Eric got from somebody, I can't remember, but ratings aren't how good a player is, it's how good a player was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's one way to look at it, is your past performance. So, all right, let's. Did you ever throw the Valkyrie? Are you familiar?
I did.
Okay,
yeah.
so here's a question about the Valkyrie. Sam says, I just lost a disc from another disc golf company due to a bad kick at Nevin, and I'm looking to replace it with a trilogy disc. The disc was a DX Valkyrie, and it was my main driver that I used for most shots. Are there any obvious suggestions for a replacement?
I didn't throw the DX, but I know generally what a Valk does.
Yeah.
DX is the base Innova's baseline, so I guess that would be like our prime, or. Yeah, so I would say maybe like a prime, I don't know, Maverick or something?
Did you say Escape?
Yeah, prime Escape maybe. But yeah, just look at flight charts and look for something that's flippy. And if you like the DX plastic, I would suggest prime in the DD lineup.
Let's see, YouTube's giving us a little help. Someone said Lat 64 River replaced my Valkyrie. Other people are saying Prime Escape. So, yeah, that would be a good one to check out. Next one is from Nick. I've been playing for a month or two and totally hooked. I am able to play and practice a few times a week. Should I work on a run-up with an X-step and fight through the initial struggles, or work on a standstill for a while, then work on the run-up? Right now, my distance/accuracy are about the same with both, but needs a lot of improvements. Thanks for the help, and keep it real.
I would say, honestly, that just go ahead and incorporate the X step. You're going to learn it eventually anyway, so might as well work on it now. And I think I definitely do use the standstill sometimes, but it's actually harder to get your timing down. I think the X step kind of propels you into that motion, so it's easier and more fluid. With the standstill, it's kind of harder to get your whole body involved. So I would say just fight through the little learning curve and incorporate that X step. But when you're doing so, I would say don't think about a run up, think about a walk up, and just have your feet going slow, at least at the beginning. But honestly, I try to do that all the time, slow feet.
All right, let's see if we can find you another question. This one's from James. Can you tell me why the max weight on a mid-range is 180, but all other molds are 175? I think doesn't it have to do with the diameter of discs and the rim and stuff like that? Why certain discs can go to a certain weight, whereas others can't?
Yeah, I mean, I know that the PDJs
because of the standards. And
yeah,
specs,
the standards they allow that. I'm not sure why, but I also know that, like you said, in the rim there's a lot more plastic built up there because it's thicker. So
yeah,
you would almost have to have it heavier.
Yeah, no, exactly why they pick those weights, don't know 100% know, other than thinking that you keep scooting away, you're getting out of frame.
Oh, sorry.
Got to keep it with the YouTube people.
I'm trying to look at you. I don't know where to look. Should I just look
I don't
right
know,
at the
my
camera?
hands and my eyes. Just look right at the camera.
Hello.
So yeah, there's certain, and I think part of the reason is because they don't want, you can't have these super heavy objects flying through the air and possibly hitting someone.
Right, of course.
Yes, the discs we have now will do damage, but I think that's what they're trying to do with the weights of the disc, which brings up the question why, if you play in Japan, you have to use lightweight discs. And that's part of the reasons of what I hear. Mm-hmm. All right, this one's on tournament prep from Andrew. Can you guys walk through your typical week for a big tournament? What sort of practice routines do you guys make sure to do, whether it be extra field work, putting, or just getting out and playing the course you will be competing on? Do you guys have rest days before the tournament? Thanks for all you guys do. I have learned tons just from you guys. So, Paige, talk us through big tournament. What's going on?
So for a player like me that's touring, usually Sunday we end the tournament. Monday then is driving to the next tournament. And then the the next tournament typically starts on Thursday, so that leaves you Tuesday and Wednesday to practice. So depending on how many courses it is, you of course want to try to see them all. But for me, I am trying to play each hole just so I have a game plan of what disc I'm going to throw, because there's always multiple different options on any given hole. So just to kind of nail down what shot is the higher percentage. Also, it comes into play like, what situation am I going to be in that round? Do I want to throw the safe shot with the Marshall, just lay it up, or do I want to try to get my, turn my defender all the way down the gap? So you're typically, for me, I'm going to practice both of those and see what my percentage is on each shot, and that way I have both shots in mind when I get to that tee pad, and I know better what my plan is when I get there, depending on like where the scores stand at that given point. But yeah, so I just want to try to play every hole that I'm going to play in the tournament to learn what disc I'm going to throw. Other than that, what does he say? Field work, putting. Yeah, of course, just the repetition of putting. The field work I don't necessarily do in the middle of the week. If I have an off weekend, I'll go like just to kind of stay in that motion of throwing. But field work's hard to do when you're on the road, especially when, like I said, you only have Tuesday and Wednesday typically to practice. But yeah.
So so I've been out with you when you've done practice rounds and you're throwing different shots and trying out different things and commentating on what you're doing and stuff like that. Have you ever had what you had in your mind, the discs that you were going to use, but then come tournament day, the weather's different or the score isn't quite what you had planned? Let's say you're way ahead, and all of a sudden, for some reason, you're not quite as many ahead as you were. Have you ever thrown something or done something that was like not practiced?
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you're using the word ever, yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
How often, I guess, is that?
Not too often.
So
In practice, I'm throwing, especially when it's only Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm throwing a lot of shots on those 2 days, a lot. So and I don't really carry that many discs in my bag or molds, so I have like deputy, marshal, suspect, truth, verdict, convict, felon, defender, ballista pro. I have 9 molds in my bag. Sometimes the thief. So I have 9 molds in my bag. So at any given point, I only have 9 options, and typically the hole I throw a deputy on, I'm not going to do a ballista pro. So, I'm throwing 5-6 practice shots on each one of these holes to determine what disc is the best disc. So chances are it's not that I've never thrown that disc on that hole. I've probably thrown it before. So it's never like a complete guessing game. I don't want it to be like unprepared, on that hole. So, but yeah, there's definitely, like you said about weather, like sometimes it's raining and you got a disc down and, you might have to shorten your run up and not get a good grip. And, so yeah, there's definitely times, but you just kind of have to know your discs. And I think that's where field work comes in, just knowing your discs, so that even if you haven't thrown that Marshall on that hole, then you at least know what the Marshall flies like, and you can picture it flying down that gap.
So let's talk about 2019 disc golf season. Now, earlier you said something about you're still kind of in your mind. You haven't signed up for all the events, and I mean, is the plan to play as many disc golf pro tours as possible, or play them all, or?
Yeah. I'm waiting to hear on the pro tour for sure, because with Jomez not covering them, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think that it's nice to play the pro tours, and for me, for a FPO player, at these pro tour events, we maybe have 10, some on a great day, like 30 to 40 people in the gallery. So for me, most of the time, my fans are online through this camera. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge part of my decision-making process, is going to be what tournament is being covered, FBO is going to be covered. And I know that they have plans to have 2 live cameras on the ladies. It's just kind of a waiting game right now to hear
Really?
what's going to happen. If Jomez is ever filming FPO, I will be at that tournament, even if it
So it really is that important for you guys? Which
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just more curious.
30,000 people watched the World Championship FPO,
Right.
you know, and in the past, I don't want to dictate the future on the past, but it's only thing I have to base it off of is, you know, I'll use my mom, for example. She's never played disc golf, but
Yeah.
she's always watched me since I was young on the road. Back when, what was it called? Where like Terry Roddy and all them, they did the disc golf broadcast where you had to pay monthly and they like broadcast it and it cut out. Like they were watching me coming down the stretch at the Memorial in like 2011. Disc Golf Planet.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, they like subscribed to Disc Golf Planet back in the day, and she
Oh man, that was such
paid money,
Yeah.
and it would just black out in the middle of the broadcast. They didn't
Right.
know if I won the tournament or whatever, and like. So using my mom as an example, she's seen like all these different crews come in, and Jomez is really the first one that's time and time again proven that they don't have issues at all.
Right.
And you know the quality you're going to get. And so for them to reach now, I guess, just shy of 100,000
Right.
followers, and for us to be like, oh, never mind, we're going to start fresh again. That just seems so crazy to me.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not behind the scenes, and, you know, I know Steve Dodge is a visionary and he has great plans in mind. So I'm open-minded as for sure. But when I know for a fact that 30,000+ people are going to be able to watch me play on great quality with Jomez, and, you know, on the other hand, I have these 2 live camera coverage crews that maybe have never even shot a disc golf tournament at this other tournament. I'm going to pick the Jomez.
Right. And I think that, I mean, I don't want to go down this particular rabbit hole, but I think that's part of the issue is that there's so much unknown.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I
Right.
don't know any of this yet. And
Yeah.
they're trying to keep us in the loop as best as they can, but there's still a lot of things in the works. And for me, that's kind of scary too, to be putting out these $200+ entry fees when I don't even know about the media yet.
Mm-hmm.
So like they want you to sign up for these tournaments right now, but who knows?
Yeah. The media is very important. That's
Very
why
important.
So I'm so glad I got into media because it became something that is like super important. So yeah, well, I mean, I'm, you know, they had put out something on Facebook and on their website, the part 1 of their media policy or media plans, and it still left a lot of unanswered questions. So yeah, once they put them out, then I think we can kind of form our opinions and kind of see what it's all about. But okay, well, I was just curious about your tour plans. I didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole of Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Oh, it's all right. That's all right.
So other than that, is it going to be just kind of the normal big ones that you think, or is there what's one that in 2019 you're like, this is one that I haven't been in a while or I've never played? Is there one out there?
Been in a while. That's a good idea or a good question.
Like I know now the Disc Golf Pro Tour, one of them is the Portland Open, and that's like brand new.
Yeah, I'm excited
At least
about
for the
that
Disc
one.
Golf Pro Tour.
And Zoe and Dustin are co-TDs
Right.
on that one too, and Jeff Spring, which is incredible tournament director. So, and Portland's one of my favorite areas to be at and to play in. So I'm super excited about that. We'll get to spend like 3 weeks in Oregon, so it's amazing. Yeah, I'm excited to go to that one. And then, yeah, just all the normal ones, you know, Beaver State, Maple Hill, and Worlds, of course.
Excellent. All right, let's get back to the questions. This one's from Josh. I've been studying different pros forms and can't seem to come to a consensus on how much looking away from your target can affect your shot. I'm currently trying to work on nailing my lines more accurately, so I figured a big part of that may be turning my head away too early or just too much in general. Curious as to what you guys suggest, mostly about run-up shots, but I'll take advice on all situations if you have time.
Yeah, good question for sure. I think that, well, I like the little categories too. That's nice. So organized, this one. Consensus on how to look away. Oh, so for me, whenever I'm reaching back, wherever I am in the shot, my head is. So when I reach, if I'm throwing this way, How far can you see? Good. Okay, so if I'm reaching back towards Bobby's behind the box. My head's back towards Bobby. Now, as my arm comes through, my head follows.
Okay, so your head, your
And it
head's
doesn't
like following.
really, and it doesn't fully look forward until my follow through, where my opposite shoulder kind of will turn my head towards the target. So if you can tell what's going on.
Okay, so for
here.
the audio people, she's not looking forward. She's basically following, kind of as your whole body's moving, your head's following.
Yeah.
And then at what point, so you're following through, because you have obviously a very good follow through. At what point through the follow through are you looking? Is it just about when you release the disc, do you think, or?
So when your arm comes through, of course, your body is, your hips and your elbow are facing the front of the T-pad.
Right.
So at that point, you're still sideways on the T-pad. Well, when your arm finishes the follow or is coming through the pull through, and your left or your opposite shoulder, your offhand, your shoulder is starting to come up, and it brings your head up. Your chest then kind of opens as kind of like you're flying, at the front of the tee box.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you're fully facing forward and your head is finally up.
Now, is that the same for like an upshot where you're not necessarily have a run up, you're from a standstill?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the same thing. It's just kind of less dramatized,
right?
Because you're less power is being exerted, and so it's not like a super like tight motion. It's kind of just a little bit slower.
I gotcha. Cool. All right. Good stuff. All right, let's see if we got another question. This is from this is on rules. Are you good on rules?
We'll see.
You better be. You playing out there
provisionals.
In provisionals. They're a lifesaver. Can you explain stroke and distance?
Yes, I can do that.
So he says, what is it and how is it used? It seems to be a term everyone knows, but I can't find an explanation. All I can do is find forums of people fighting about it. That's so true. So true. This is Clint from Tyler. He said, thanks and keep it real. Hope to see you guys at the Piney Woods. Of course, this was back in October 11th. Had Piney Woods already happened October 11th?
No, I think it was just about to happen.
Oh, okay. So maybe we got to see you, hopefully, Clint. So what stroke and distance, tell us what your thoughts on it.
So it's something that they use at the USDGC. I don't actually know many other tournaments that have it. Some tournaments, they have it on one hole, but the USDGC is where it's known for. So essentially it is when you throw out of bounds on a hole that is stroke and distance, you have to rethrow from your previous lie and you get a stroke penalty. So it's a double penalty in a way. You're now getting that out of bounds stroke, so you're throwing 3 and you don't get to progress to the last spot you were in bounds. So typically when you throw out of bounds, you take it up the last place you were in bounds, you mark your meter, but on stroke and distance, you have to rethrow from the previous spot, which is quite crucial out there on Winthrop, especially when it's nothing but rope.
Yeah. Now, I was going to take it like a follow-up question. I mean, I'm assuming, are you a fan of it, I guess?
Not really.
Yeah.
I like the way it makes you think. It makes you, it turns it into more of a mental game and makes you weigh the risk reward. I like that aspect of it. But I think when you're fighting for a major championship, it gets a little bit too iffy.
Yeah.
So I would play some tournaments with stroke and distance, but when you're competing for a major, you don't want to have to rethrow from your previous spot 5, 6, 7, 8 times just because you were off by this much.
Yeah. I got you. All right, one more question. Let's see. This is from Bob. I'm not a huge fan of fieldwork, but I play a lot of rounds by myself and throw multiple shots on holes. I shoot from every disc thrown. Do you feel this is good practice, or should I really take it to a field and just throw shot after shot? For your information, for scoring the round, I always play the first shot thrown. Thanks for your input and keep up the good work. Congrats, sweet daddy cool hair. On the 1003 rating and winning the that was for Robert.
Oh, he's talking about Robert. Sweet daddy cool hair.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so this is a really good question, I think, and it kind of goes back to a question we had a few ago too about practice rounds. But So I don't throw from every disc I thrown, but at least 2 or 3 of them. So when I'm saying that sometimes I'll throw the deputy and the convict and decide if I want to throw that safe shot off the tee or the more aggressive shot, I'll also throw, or at least go stand at where both of those landed. Mm-hmm. So typically I'm throwing 4 shots in the fairway on my practice rounds. So I'll throw the safe shot off the tee, and then I'll go up to where that safe shot, the best place it could have landed, and I'll throw from there. And then if I error, where it landed there. That way I'm kind of I kind of know what I would throw on my second shot as well. And this is typically for 2-shot holes like par 4s. And then also from that tee shot, when I'm throwing the aggressive line, I'll go up the best place, the sweet spot where I would hope to land, and throw from there, and also throw from an errant shot on that aggressive line, just to kind of cover all my bases basically.
Gotcha. Nice. All right, so let's real quick. We're gonna, like we normally do, we're gonna grab a couple questions for YouTube before we let you go. Let's see if we can find some good ones. Go ahead and put some questions in there, in the YouTube chat there, and we'll get those answered. And so Paige, you're getting ready to take off for Croatia. You're gonna be there until, what did you say? Till like through the New Year's, right?
Well, I'm making 3 different trips, but the
Right.
Croatia's kind of sandwiched in the middle. But so I leave on Monday, and I'm headed to Spain for a couple weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be doing like a meet and greet and kind of like a challenge round in Mijas, Spain, at December 12th. I got a flyer that we'll be posting on my Instagram. Tomorrow. I'll post that tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And so you guys, if you're in Spain or in the area, make sure to check out the information there. And then, then Croatia, December 29th through January 5th. And then I'll be going to Iceland. I went there this summer and made some friends there. And so I got to go back in the winter and see the Northern Lights, and probably do a couple clinics there as well while I'm there.
And then after that, what it'll be, you'll be back in the States at what?
Yeah, I'll fly back into Kansas City, pick up the van, and head back here to Emporia. My best friends due on January 24th.
Oh, so you're good.
And I get back on January 14th.
So you're trying to be there for that?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
And then when does like 2019 disc golf really like start to kick in?
I will be headed to Gentlemen's Club. It's late February. So I'll have like the very middle of January on through middle of February to kind of work out some kinks and get back in the disc golf shape and just start getting ready for tour.
Nice. Cool. Let's see. Someone, will we see a burst chocolate truth? That's actually a fantastic idea.
Bursts of dark chocolate or like white chocolate?
I don't know.
Or peanut butter.
Oh gosh, that would be.
Wow, sweet granada. We should.
That's a great idea, and I don't know how easy it would be, but that would be great. Do you ever throw overhand off the tee?
Never. But that's a personal preference. That's not saying that overhands are bad or don't do it. I'm just, it's not in my shot selection currently. Yeah. And if so, it's just to get out of trouble. It's not like a shot that I feel confident on. I would say whatever you're doing off the tee, make sure it's something that you're confident with.
Paige, who came up with the idea to answer your PDJ number with creeps who ask for your number?
What? I'm sorry. I need that one more time.
Who came up with the idea to answer with your PDJ number when creeps ask for your number?
I didn't know that this was an idea. So yeah, you're kind of cluing me in.
Chaser, are you one of the creeps that asked for the number and got? No, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. Is she planning to stay with straddle putting?
Yes.
He read that wrong. I did. I read it word for word. Paige, who came up with the idea to answer with your PDJ number when creeps ask for your number?
I don't know. I'm sorry, Chase. I don't actually know what.
I'm assuming people asked for your number, and you gave them your PDJ number as your phone number, which I would have think someone would figure it out because they don't have your PDJ number to have 7 digits.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, next question. Is she planning? Oh, we already said that. Do people get you confused with Paige Pierce?
No, I don't think we look much alike. So it's as far as like appearance wise, no. For names, I guess it's definitely confusing, especially when we're on the same card and we're keeping score and they're like Paige. We both kind of yell out. But yeah, we don't call her Paige much. We call her Muggsy.
Yeah, I have a problem. I get your all's last name, but I mess up on I mess up on my kids' names, so I get those names messed up so many times. Anyway. Found Paige and Dee when I was at my local disc store, saw the deputy, and found my favorite putter. Deputy is my last name.
That's awesome.
How often does she get yelled at for lighting off fireworks? How
often does she get yelled at
for lighting off fireworks?
Never really. I lit off fireworks recently, actually, but it was completely allowed.
Everything was good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna end the audio, but we'll stick around for a few more minutes with our YouTube folks that we like to do, kind of chill a little. We'll do a quick little after hours. Oh, I'm sorry, Smashback has that trademark, so we can't use. We'll say. I don't know. You guys give us a name. What this? Oh, Disc Golf Answer Jam. That's right.
Ooh.
We call this the Disc Golf Answer Jam.
Come on and slam.
So anyway, for our audio listeners, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you appreciate this bonus episode with Paige Pierce here in the Emporia Studios here in Dynamic Discs Warehouse. Had a great time. Make sure you check out, if you happen to listen to this in time, look at the show notes for the link to that Croatia. If not, check out Paige Pierce on Facebook, on Instagram. I'll put links to that in the show notes. And make sure you pick up some of her swag that she's got going on to help support her out on the road. Pick yourself up a Convict.
Yeah.
What do you got? Wait, what do you got? You've got is it the Lucid Convict?
It's the Hybrid
The
Burst.
Hybrid
Burst.
Hybrid Burst Convict.
Yeah, I don't have too many left, and they won't be ran again. And also, like I said, I leave town Monday, so if you guys want either, these hoodies or the long sleeves, or those Hybrid Burst Convicts, make sure you message me to. What's today? Friday?
Today's Friday. Yep.
Yeah, make sure you message me today.
And then
and the Croatia thing, like if you guys can't find the link or something, just message me and I'll send you the link via Facebook or whatever.
Right. But to keep her on the road, make sure if you're going to dynamicdisc.com or anywhere you're shopping, make sure you pick up a Paige Pierce Convict, Paige Pierce
things.
Deputy.
How close do I need to get with
You got to
this?
get pretty close. She's trying to show the YouTube people. So we'll let the audio people go. Follow Paige Pierce on social media everywhere, and that way you can stay up to date with everything she's got going on. All right. Thanks again, Disc Golf Answer fans. We'll see you on the next show.
See ya. Well, they won't see us.
All right, YouTubers. Now we get a little more relaxed, a little more chill. We don't have a lot of time because I know she needs to go eat before we do our in-store signing session. So we'll just do a couple minutes here. And hopefully I can convince Robert to maybe drop me off at my house so I can check on Sebastian.
Nice.
So put that in the chat notes, everybody. Tell Robert to be nice to Sebastian because he's probably floating around in the apartment needing to go out and go pee. So someone says, have fun in Iceland, Paige. I played there last summer. Great country.
Nice.
Who's the best van on tour?
Who has the best
van on tour?
I don't know. It kind of just depends what your preference is. I think it's nice because they're all custom. So they're all catered to what we need, which is nice.
There you go.
I think mine's pretty great.
Next order of hoodies, can you have some youth sizes? So that's maybe something.
Yeah, I have extra small, but sold out of those. I actually got a bunch of orders for the extra smalls for kids for Christmas presents. So sold out of those, but I do have the extra small in the long sleeve still.
This is a good question. What van changes, if any, do you have planned? So anything you learned last year, you thought, I need to do that?
I did a few changes already, but I got a few more planned for when I get back in January. I added one more cabinet. I had two cabinets, and I had like snacks in one, and the other one was like bowls and plates and cups and stuff. But I had like all my pots and pans and like my stove and all that in the back, and that was quite annoying to have to go back there every time. So I added one more cabinet where all that's there. And I didn't have any counter space, so I added like this little pop-up table. It like folds against the wall, and then when you want to use it, it just comes down. So that's nice. I added that as well, and I got cruise control.
You did?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
That's got to be such. I mean, that's like
gosh.
a huge upgrade.
Huge upgrade.
Yeah.
Huge upgrade. There's so many hours where
Your foot probably
so
feels like it's going to
many
fall
hours.
off.
It's like amazing. It's just driving down the road like, woo! So excited.
Are you playing in the Conapista in 2019?
Probably not, but
Okay.
I don't want to completely rule it out, but probably not.
Will you be around for the Grider Memorial?
Uh,
I don't know what that is.
Grider, I'm assuming that is for Nolan Grider?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about it. I know and love Nolan, but I don't know anything about the Grider Memorial.
How did your dad introduce you to disc golf? My 6-year-old niece has come out a few times when I'm putting, and she's got potential.
I was just walking basically, and my dad just was obsessed with disc golf, as we all are, and would just start taking me out on the weekends as like our father-daughter time, and yeah, I just grew to love it. It was something that I just had no choice to do, and then all of a sudden I started loving it.
Fantasy round. If you could play with any disc golfer, past or present, on any course, who would it be and where?
One person, or like my dream foursome on a course?
It just says if you could play with any disc golfer, so you
Let's go with Kona Panis, Liz Carr, and Zoe and Dyke on Maple Hill.
Nice. Tips for Las Vegas Challenge. This is my first year. I'm pumped.
Wait, say it again.
Tips for Las Vegas
Oh.
Challenge.
Bring a ballista pro
There
and
you
a
go.
thief. It's lots of long shots. Just you're gonna have to throw it far, but also just make sure you're keeping it in bounds. Far and in bounds is all that you need.
What's for lunch?
Amanda's. Yeah, you guys. I know 90% of you guys are coming to the Glassbone. Write it down. Amanda's. It's amazing.
Amanda's Bakery.
Local
They
gym.
They have
Especially on Fridays.
delicious cinnamon rolls and good. Their other food is good, but the cinnamon rolls, there's just some about them. They have the right texture, the right softness, the right amount of cinnamoniness, and the right amount of frosting. And
She makes them fresh every day.
they're freaking huge.
She's an incredible baker.
Yeah, she
Everything's
makes it
fresh
fresh.
every day. The homemade bread. It's amazing. And Fridays they always have the cinnamon rolls and the cookies and this like chocolate. I forget the name of her cake or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But every Friday she makes a fresh or a special dessert, and I'm so excited to go see what kind of dessert this is.
Have either of you played at the Flip City in Michigan?
Flip City. It sounds familiar, but I don't think so.
Nope. Nutrition in your tour routine is a lot of eating out, or is it a lot of eating out, or do you manage your diet, and how?
A lot of cooking, actually. We have like a little camp crew, and we all just kind of do like big family meals together. It's cool. It's like a Thanksgiving dinner, but every night of the week, essentially. And we'll all just kind of take turns cooking, or just each cook a little bit on our little propane stoves. Or Tina and Eric, they are one of the few with a oven. So yeah, we'll just cook around the fire and right by the water, and it's probably my favorite part of tour life, is just like
That sounds cool.
being by the campfire with the friends cooking meals.
Let's see. Okay, Chaser wants to redeem himself. He said, and
There's
declare.
Muggsy. Should we call her in here?
We can.
A little guest appearance.
Chaser says, and to clarify from earlier, apparently guys have been asking for your number on DD orders. The staff have been replying with your PDJ number, and the order form were posted on humor sites. So apparently they're doing something here you weren't aware of. So they were putting your PDJ number as your phone number
Nice.
when people were asking for your phone number.
Why are they asking for my phone number? I don't even answer my
Your
phone.
Paige Pierce.
I don't actually even answer my phone. Like if you message me on Facebook, I'm 90% of chance I'm gonna respond to you. So
Who's the best cook on Team DD?
definitely Peter McBride.
I could see that.
Definitely. Tina's talking about, I don't know, we're talking about doing this series like camp crew, like just filming us.
I want to film
Do
it
it.
and do it.
Do it.
I'm trying to talk Jeremy and let me take the RV out to
Nice.
go on the tour for a
Nice.
little bit. I'm going to answer this real quick. Any chances of Dynamic Duels coming back? There has been mention of a disc golf answer. As a matter of fact, Ben Wagner, Anthony has been working on. We have 2 coming out. We just had some stuff we needed to wrap up before we get those out, but they are being worked on and will be out within the next few weeks. So again, subscribe, click that bell, tap that bell, and that way you know.
I was thinking, that commercial we shot way back in the day with like Yuli and Macbeth and Larry Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
We should do another one of those.
Do it with the new people. That would be
cool.
fun. Any trips planned to Colorado?
Ooh, I love Colorado. I was actually gonna head there like right after the Pro Tour Championship to go see the Yellow Aspens, but missed it.
Dang.
But yeah, definitely going to Colorado at some point.
Kyle says, need more in the bags. Kyle, we have your wishes, our command. One of the things we're going to do for the Vegas Challenge is me, Anthony, and Danny are going out there early so that we can do some filming, some content creation. And one of the big things is we're going to be doing some in the bag. That way we can update all the players that head out to where to be. I'm sure we'll do it because we're going to do Vegas Challenge through the Memorial. So we'll make sure we hit everybody as far as in the bags and, of course, get footage of them throwing so we can create some really sweet in the bags. All right, guys, it's 11:30. We got to get going because we got to get some lunch eaten. Then we're going to head over to the Dynamic Discs Emporia store. So if you've got time this afternoon, about 1 p.m. Central, we're going to go live again. And we're going to have some fun over there while she's answering questions again and signing stuff and having some fun over at the store. So make sure you tune in. Again, Paige Pierce. Yes, I said the right page. I was thinking of...
I know, you can see her out there with her new van.
Thank you again for stopping by. If you guys on YouTube don't see us later on this afternoon, make sure you follow her on Facebook, on Instagram, and follow along on her travels. Make sure you support her out on the road. Pick up a deputy. Pick up a convict. Pick up some of her swag she's got going on.
We're going to do a convict video soon, right?
Yes, we're going to do a convict video. We're going to get some more information. That way you guys can see why. You guys got
to see how this Lucid X flies.
I mean, we could just post a video where you got an ace at world's doubles. Isn't that a convict?
Yeah. But that was a Lucid convict. I'm loving the Lucid X convict.
Okay, Lucid X convict.
It's like I had one gap in my bag, and it was something between a Lucid convict and a Lucid felon, and it's literally perfectly right in the middle.
Well, there you go.
It's amazing. It's like saved me a lot of strokes. I've been throwing it a lot lately.
Excellent. All right. We got to go. We got to get stuff done.
Gotta go.
See you guys.